Hey guys, it is Monday morning. You guys watched a video on this high tunnel either late Saturday night or early Sunday morning. And guess what? It's only been 2 days. This stuff's already sprouted. We've already got germination. Hopefully you guys can see that okay. Yeah, we've already got germination. So you may be wondering, Tracy, why are you hand watering this? Well, what I like to do when we get started on any type of greens mixes in the ground, like for instance carrots, spinaches, salads, anything like that, I like to overhead water until a majority, I like to see at least 50% of everything germinated, and then I will switch over to overhead watering. You guys do know that I do have my overhead watering in here, but you can see it just hanging there. I do not have it connected to the timer at this time because if you remember, just weeks ago, this was a cherry tomato house. So we do not overhead water our cherry tomatoes. We run drip on all of our tomatoes and cucumbers and items like that. So I did not even have that hooked up yet because I knew I wasn't going to go into salad or greens until the fall. So I guess I wasn't planning on this popping already in a day and a half. So I guess I'm going to go ahead and have to get that hooked up either to this afternoon or tomorrow. I think the reason why this stuff is popped really good, when you do a greens mix, you really want to soak this in. And you know, we do have drip in here, and I did run drip for 2 hours the first night we had this. But until it really pops out of the ground, you really want this soil to be moist. Now, not like wringing bucket sopping wet, but you don't want it to be dry either, because if the seeds are dry, they will not get the moisture content they need to germinate. So you want to make sure you come in here at least 2 or 3 times a day. At this point, you can water in the middle of the day and you're not hurting anything because the majority of the seeds have not germinated yet. So they're still in the ground. So they really don't know the difference. I usually come in here in the morning. It's about 10 o'clock in the morning right now. After I drank my coffee, I came out here because I was harvesting some tomatoes. And so I went from one tunnel to the next, and this is the second tunnel that I'm working in. So now that I know this is germinated, I need to get in gear and get this overhead irrigation going so I can irrigate this 2 or 3 times a day with overhead to make sure these beds stay wet. Because, once again, Saturday we had, I think, 99-degree temperature. Yesterday was Sunday. My wife and I was out with some friends doing some adventures. And I know they're watching the channel, so what's up? Thanks for going yesterday. We had a great time. But yesterday was 101 or 102, and today is supposed to be like 103 or something like that. Or yesterday was 103, and today is supposed to be 101 or something. So we've got tons of humidity already, and we have over 100 degrees. Even with the shade cloth, it's going to get hot in here. Like I said, it's 10 o'clock in the morning right now. I think it's 89 degrees, and it's 95 in here. So it's going to get scorcher in here, especially with this water that I just watered in. The humidity is going to be super high. It is 46% humidity right now. So it's going to be pretty high. So we will come back in here tonight and we will water this again, soak this in for the next 2 or 3 days to make sure we get 50-60% germination. Then we'll just switch over to overhead and to drip. And then we won't water from the hose anymore. So that'll help with the labor savings. But yeah, it's pretty cool. Pretty happy about that. So yeah, I just thought I'd kind of share that with you. We're going to jump into tunnel number 1. Tunnel number 3 is the far tunnel to the south you can see in the background there. That's the tunnel we're getting ready to get rid of our heirloom tomatoes. As you can see, I pulled some of our big heirloom tomatoes. We did have some animal damage in there. I think either some rats, because we do live in the country. Oh, my allergies. You can see that either some rats or snakes or something like that, or possums or something has been getting in there, jumping over the plastic and getting in there. But yeah, so I went ahead and pulled 2 trays of some big heirlooms. All right, it's been a couple days since the last time we spoke, and so a lot of things have kind of happened here. We're cleaning up some stuff, getting geared up for the fall season. Just kind of wanted to show you guys. You guys can see that. Look at the spinach and the Johnny's Wildfire. I mean, it's been a week and this stuff's already popped off, but the good thing is getting everything watered in. So I do have my overhead irrigation from Bootstrap Farmer. I've been using that once a day to really get a good complete soaking. Plus we've got the drip lines running. So when you've got this 70, 80 degree heat all the time, you really need to keep this stuff, especially when it's in the seeding stage and it hasn't germinated yet. You really want to get this stuff moist. You don't want it sopping wet, but you do want it moist, like a lightly moistened sponge. And that keeps that seed pod soft, and then it can break through and germinate. But yeah, everything's looking great. So we're right on track with tunnel number 3 here. Still got to get a door built for it. I kind of know what I want, but I just got to go get the supplies, get the money bought supplies for it. So yeah, that's still working. So we'll just start here on number 1. So we are in the small tunnel or prop tunnel, whatever you want to call it. We're cleaned out here. So I picked all the jalapenos. I picked another bushel of jalapenos off of this. We've cleaned this out. That's all of the Salanova and romaine starts. There's some romaine down there, but this is all Salanova and Cherokee. Lettuce is here, a little bit of kale. This stuff's got to go into a tunnel here pretty soon. I would say probably another 2 weeks. Allergies are in full effect right now. My nose feels like it's on fire. So if you hear me sniffling, sorry, I apologize early. See, we got a hot mess here. So we are in tunnel number 2. And as you can see, the determinate tomato house is now all cleaned out. So now all we have in here now is heirloom tomatoes. So we have 3 rows in here. We have that row of the Cherokee Purple, German Johnson, and Brandywine. Those 3 are still putting on huge tomatoes. We're still getting tomatoes ripening on the vine here. Everything's starting to slow down. Yes, it's the last day of August. And excuse me, we're still in summer mode. But as a market farmer, you have to think in the next season. So I know if I do not get my lettuce starts in the ground in the next couple weeks, we are going to lower the light level. Things want to grow when it's a minimum of 9 hours is what they say roughly. And here in Kansas where we are, we do get below the 9 hour range. Not much, like 2-3 weeks below the 9. So which means everything kind of stops growing at that point. Now, necessarily, that doesn't mean that's the end of it. It dies. It just stops the growing process. So it kind of stays stunted. So what they always say is you want to make sure you get the majority of your crops to that almost full grown stage by around here, probably mid-November is where we want to be. So we've got to get stuff in the ground in September to be able to be almost full grown by then. And then at that stage, just kind of hangs out until spring comes and the light goes above the 9 hours again. Then it starts to grow again, and then everything starts to pick up. So until then, we are going to leave this because we do have a farm tour in a month from now. We will leave these tomatoes here because we do have the room with these other tunnels now, thank God, that we can leave these tomatoes. Hopefully we don't have frost before the first week of October. Usually it's about the October 19th, 15th, and 19th. We've got a Call Valley farm tour October 5th. So that's Saturday and Sunday, I think 5th and 6th. So hopefully these will stay good. I want to make sure these are plump full of tomatoes when people show up. We are going to have all the other back filled with lettuces, kales, stuff, items like that. So people, when they walk through these high tunnels, they can actually see all the production. We can talk about food. And if they're curious. And the other thing we've been working on, which is kind of a big deal, is we still have, well, I'm still waiting on supplies for this. I've got some stuff that got mixed up in the mail, and there's stuff getting resent out to us to get this finished. But until then, yeah, this was yesterday's project. You guys do know I have never ever been happy with this last tunnel here. We've had issues with the dirt work here. When they did the dirt work, they didn't level it out correctly like I thought it should be level. So this tunnel floods every time we get any amount of little bit of rain. That back half of that tunnel will fill with like 3 inches of water. The only thing that keeps the water out of this is these beds actually make a dam, and we will get water 100-foot long troughs here. You do know we have the fabric, as you can see, and it does build a little dam right here because we've got raised beds, 3 big raised beds. Well, the water uses this, and the water will fill all the way to the front of that tunnel. You can see where it's stained the white right there. That where the water comes in and just rushes in here and fills this whole back half. So what I've decided to do is I cut this tunnel in half. So this is going to be a 52-foot tunnel now, because roughly where we get to about, probably about 58, 60 foot is where the water starts to flood in here. And it's because the yard next door is higher than where we're at here. This used to be a terrace. They took the terrace out. My concern was the slope right here, and I was concerning with him about the slope right there is too extreme, and all that water is going to run in here. And he kept telling me not to worry about it. There was going to be nothing wrong with it. The way he sloped this out, all the water was going to go towards the ditch in the road or go towards the front where we've got it diverted. All the water comes into this tunnel here. It can't go nowhere. It just floods this whole tunnel out. So, and of course, I did not know that until after I already got the tunnel built. We already put the tunnel on this pad, already got everything ready to grow in, got food in the ground, and then we had our first really good rain, and it flooded everything out. By then, it's too late. The only way to fix this is to take this tunnel 100% down, pay someone else to come out here, regrade this again, and make this level, or bring this tunnel up. I don't have the time or the money to do that anymore. I've spent all the money I've had allocated for everything this year. Unfortunately, this is just, it is what it is. And so what I've decided the easiest thing for me to do is come up to where I have higher ground, which is 52 foot, restructure this tunnel, rebuild this tunnel the way I want it, repurpose all this stuff for the next tunnel that's going to go up. So, you know, where we've got that other 52 footer that you see me do a video on, we are going to possibly do some dirt work next year and put another tunnel over there. I don't know if it's going to be another 52. I don't know if I'm just going to do 52 footers down that one whole line, or if I'm going to do another 100 footer. But if I do, I'm halfway there already, bought and paid. So everything's cool with that. I'm good with that. So what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to rototill all this in. When I'm done here, I'm going to put the black plastic tarp over it. I'm going to let it hang out and do its thing all winter long. And then next year, I'm going to worry about it. So we may put squash and zucchini there. We may plant a patch of sweet corn for us. We may put our pumpkins there. I don't know. But it's not going to waste. We're still going to use it. It's just not going to be intended for the purpose of having a full tunnel in here. So yeah, so that's what we've been doing. I've been building new end walls here because these got bent from all the weight that I didn't calculate for. So now we're going through and I am 100% structuring this thing up. I've got to take that truss out of there, move this truss down, and add another truss here. So we are going to be exactly like that 52 footer that I built over there with the double truss system. It's going to hold a lot of weight and not kink under the load. But anyway, guys, I'm going to get going with this because I've got to finish this. I've got to restructure this wall here, and then yeah, we're going to get it on. So until the next video, guys, the next video you're going to see is us putting the hip boards and baseboards. Oh, I'm sorry. The next video you're going to see is us installing the hoops on that tunnel, and then we will start adding more things to it. But until then, guys, have a great Labor Day weekend, and we'll talk to you later.